Doesn't cut the gluten.
Yeah, also, I don't like that kind of a sort of a violent interference with fermentation. Yeah, if you introduce salt to the yeast too soon, too early, it can also it can affect the development as well. I just like the whole pack. Yeah, it's just a good idea. But don't forget it. A lot of times we get that dough mix up. Maybe even happened to you once in your last class. When you got that dough mixed up, everything's looking good, full development, then you come back to your table and there's your salt. Forgot to get it in. It happens sometimes. It seems like a lot of sugar, but this dough is not going to be sweet. Okay, this is just sugar provides moisture, provides both does provide sweetness, of course. But we can get all of that in right there. We can get our yeast in as well. Instant yeast does not have to be rehydrated. You can add it almost any time in the process. Okay. And we've got our diastatic malt. Okay. You guys use this, but do you know what it is? You know why we use it? You know where it comes from? Well, first of all, it comes from barley. Okay, the grain. You should know that. You might want to know that. Okay. At some point in time, diastatic malt comes from barley. It contains diatease, which is an enzyme. And what the diastatic malt does, it helps promote the conversion of the carbohydrates into sugars. It kind of speeds up that process of that transformation of the carbohydrates in the flour into usable sugar for the yeast. You can do this without it. If you didn't have it, it's still going to work. But if you have it, and the formula calls for it, it's a good thing. So we're going to get our malt in there as well. And you could with a whisk or even just with your hand, just kind of mix that up. Our butter, you want to just soften that up a little bit. So it's pliable. It is. Just like that, yeah. Nice and pliable. Carefully. Heat this up. You've got the big pitcher with the handle, it's a little bit safer maybe. Yeah. Not living on the edge. You're not living. Please make sure you have an accurate thermometer. If you don't know how to check, right, you plunge it in ice water. It should read like 32. If it doesn't, it needs to be calibrated. Okay. Mid-60s. It's important to kind of come up gradually, right? You don't want to shoot past 100 or 105, right? I'm going to go for about 100, I think. Kitchen's a little warm today. So I'm just kind of swirling it around, and I've got my thermometer in there. And I'm burning the hair on my hand. So it is really important, again, the thermometer is accurate. I had one student, a couple segments ago, he was over at the stove, next door, because we were in the other lab, and I see steam coming off of here, and it's almost like boiling, How hot is that milk? And he goes like, 90 degrees, and no, it was like 180 degrees. It wasn't even close. But there's where your common sense should kick in too, especially after you saw the demo. Common sense is difficult to teach. About 90, coming up on 90 now. It's like, you're scaling out a formula and you've got like a bowl full of salt. You just know, right? I mean, something's wrong. Use your common sense, right? 2, 3, and 5. So now it's cranking up there pretty good. 7. We're at about 100. So 1, 2, 2, 2. All your liquid, all your dry, right on top of that. And what do we say? What's the first instruction?
Fresh speed 3 minutes.
Speed 1 for 3 minutes. And you got the butter in there. Now, I hope all your timers work. Some of them might not. Okay, so you might want to just double check and set a timer, or watch the clock and make sure that your timer is actually working. So this is definitely a short mix. We're going to go speed 1 for 3 minutes, speed 2 for what, like 1 more minute, right? Yeah, very short mix. We're not trying to develop gluten here. Okay? Once you're confident the dough is starting to come together, you get that salt in there. So, like minimal to no gluten development. Okay, we're not looking for elasticity. Why? Because later, after we lock in the fat and start the lamination process, all of that laminating, the rolling, folding, rolling, folding, every time we do another turn, we increase or we increase the gluten development. Right, we develop the gluten further. So if we started with a fully developed gluten matrix, by the time we finished the lamination, the dough would be overdeveloped. The gluten would be overdeveloped, and we'd have an elastic dough that stretched back and didn't rise properly, and didn't hold its shape nicely when we baked it. Okay, so minimal gluten development. You can do this by hand, really easily. Yeah. Totally using this. Is it moving? My timer's working. While this is going, you can prepare one of these croissants or cambros, yeah. Lightly sprayed. Shake the can. Shake it. Shake it again.
Third time.
Shake it some more. It's like a can of spray paint, right? You got the lubricant on the bottom and all the propellant on the top. If you don't shake it up, all the propellant sprays out first. You ever grab a can of this and like it spits, it's just spitting out the lubricant because nobody shakes it up, okay? So, shake it up really evenly, okay? Prepare a label, right? Croissant de Trump, today's date, the use by date 7 days from now, just to keep the Department of Health happy, and then your team number or name. Yeah. Properly labeled. Everything. Proper label. Speed 2 for 1 more minute. Tomorrow. You might think, oh my God, only 3 days, for a croissant, but in the real world, in a real bakery, you know, you're cycling this. You know, so every day you're making new de trempe. Every day you're laminating. Every day you're shaping, improving, baking. You just keep all those doughs going through the cycle, through the sequence, right? So it's not like you're waiting all the time. You're just staging things out. Okay? Just clean that dough right off the hook, yeah. You got your bowl scraper. Let's check the temp and see if that worked for us. What do you see?
I saw 84.
84.7. Right? So we said between 84 and 86, right? I think 84.7 is between 84 and 86. Yeah? Almost right in the middle.
Almost.
So it works. Yeah? I want you to take the dough out to your table. You shouldn't need any bench flour for this. I want you to round it nicely. So I always think about like shaping that dough kind of like a mushroom cap. Yeah? Smooth outer surface. Bringing those ends underneath. Give it a little pinch. And just round it, okay? This is one of those kind of elusive techniques, you know, that you just have to do it until you get it, okay? But you're not rolling it around, okay? You're trying to create a smooth, you know, outer surface, a tension, right? That dough tension. So I'm doing it more than I need to. I'm just showing you the motion, right? Underneath, and I'm pulling that, creating that seam on the bottom. You gotta give it a little, set it down, seam side down, cover it up. If the lid fits, great. If it doesn't, you know, just wrap it up. And I think I got all lids and Lexans that fit. We're gonna leave this out for about an hour at room temperature or until it doubles in size. And all that information is on your MOP, okay? After it's doubled in size, we refrigerate it. It continues that nice slow fermentation, develops flavor and texture, and all those reasons that we retard doughs. Also, it needs to be cold and firm tomorrow when we start the lamination process. Okay. So, that worked out well. I'm very happy right now. The label on the front, just in case, you know, you're gonna, you know, put it on the top because it might be up on the shelf and you can't read it on the top, yeah? Try not to stick it, you don't have to make, you know, rub it in there. We're going to be able to peel it off if we can, you know, tomorrow. So, otherwise, yeah, when these things get stuck in, you